This activity will take us through how we go about building the skills section that we can train future LLMs to allow us to build up very quickly the skills that we need that match the job. So we're going to go through this. I'm going to outline some of the resources and I'm going to hopefully get us there together. So the first link of the resource, this is basically the brief that you're looking at. The templates I'm going to make a copy of in a second, the prompt that I'll use in order to build the categories, and then eventually the individual skills within those categories. I have a example of a CMO skill breakdown, and then I have plucked out of that the soft skills. So let's go through this. First things first, I am building out my own version of the skills template. Again, this will be used in the future to train our LLMs to make sure that we are mimicking what they're looking for on the application and in our own resume. So inside here, I can see skills. Great. So select, tailor skills, make a copy. Perfect. Wonderful. So let's keep moving. When done, review this whole section. So I can see that a CMO finished version has the main skill categories and a description of those. Then it breaks those individual skill categories out in a more robust way. We also have soft skills, and then a short skill category breakdown of the hard skills and the soft skills. And these are the ones that we primarily are going to choose from for our own resume. So that is kind of like the after of the before and after. So let's get into this stuff. So first we're going to brainstorm and build skill category themes related to your field. So I'm going to open up the prompt and I'm going to copy all of this. Now with you, and I'm going to demonstrate how we do this, we're just quickly going to change these merge fields so that it is describing us and our career. So the industry, I'm going to say AI and blockchain, and job title, Chief Marketing Officer, years of experience, 17. Cool. Good. So you can see that I have a good amount of skills in here. I can decide whether or not I want to add 10 more, and I can certainly see that there would be, give me 10 more. And while it's building those out, I'm just going to quickly copy these over to my skill table. So here, Control-Shift-V. Good. Now I could continue to do this basically endlessly. One of the other ways that I do this is I basically say do not repeat. So I'm going to say give me 15 more, but do not repeat. Great. So it starts to get a little further away from what I'm looking for, but in the meantime, I'm going to make sure that I add everything together and decide whether or not I want to keep or remove certain elements of this. But we have a pretty good list going, and I'm somewhat happy with it. Again, every LLM is going to be a little different. I've mentioned that before, but let's keep moving. So eventually I get enough to kind of work from. So I've copied everything over to my table. Great. And they're inside of that first tab. We're good to go. So I have asked for 10 more. So now I want to really build out that hard skill table by using prompt 2 from what I have set aside. Great. So I want to continue to add more firepower to some of the different categories so I can focus in on a project that I've done. So let's see, maybe I can jump in here and say, give me 10 more on content creation. Good. It's continued to generate new and different posts. Some of these are relevant, some are not. And the next stage of this is basically us going through and deciding exactly what we should keep and what we shouldn't. And it's very easy to generate hundreds of these. The goal is to generate enough so we can start building out section by section. So I am going to, in real time, very quickly go through and separate out the ones that I like and the ones that I don't like. I'm just deleting the skills I don't like. Okay, I feel pretty good about this list, so I'm going to start building using the second prompt. To do that, I'm going to jump into the second prompt, copy the prompt, now paste. Now take the first skill category, paste that in. Good. Great. Now it's gotten crazy specific with a lot of the different elements, but I like it. So I'm going to copy and paste these skills right over here. I'm going to continue to do that section by section for the most prolific, or I would say the most relevant skills for me. This allows me to get super granular on my skill set. So bear with me. I'm going to continue to build these out. I'm taking the next skill that I like a lot, and I'm going to say good. Do that for the next skill category, paste. Now, sometimes you may end up getting overlap, so I think it's really important to make sure that you're continuing to train the model, give some feedback. Some of these are unrelated to skill. Also, don't give me duplicates, that kind of thing. You can see this is going pretty fast. This is sped up 20 times. Nice, I like these a lot more. I'm going to add them into my next section. I'm copying these over to my hard skills categories, and just note that I'm also grabbing the section title and putting it within each of these. Great. Now let's do a couple of these at the same time. So select the categories that most accurately represent you and your experience, paste them in, and I'm going to say, let's do more categories. Please build each of these out in their own separate tables as you did for the individual categories. Basically, the concept is I want to do clusters of these so that I'm not having to do each and every one. This is sped up 20x just so you can see how it works. Good. Now it's done a few of these at once, and I can definitely tell you that some of these are, let's just say, a little ways off. So I'll have to go back through it at a later point and adjust them. But at the very least, I'm getting a little closer with where I'd like to be, and I'm speeding up the delivery by putting basically more categories in at the same time. Is it a perfect solution? Never. But we are able to get a little bit closer to building these out without having to manually do this one by one, each individual row. It is saving eventual time and ultimately allowing us to, again, tailor our future resumes to match the job description based on real things that we've done in the past, which is what this is all about. So now I'm just transferring everything back into my sheet. Is it a perfect way of doing things? Again, you decide. Good. So now I'm going to go through and I'm going to basically review what's in here and figure out which ones are really not related to some of the work that I have done and would like to do so that I'm getting a lot closer to my own experience, but ultimately the value that I can create. You're watching me manually delete the ones that I don't feel are relevant for me and my experience. Great. So I have a pretty robust skill table and it's continuing to grow. I think with DeepSeek, it's gotten crazy specific compared to some of the prompts that I've used within ChatGPT, but this is just the difference between LLMs. The last section is prompt 3, second to last. So basically, we're going to go through and we're going to copy the prompt, and then we're going to change some of the different areas of experience, and then we're going to migrate all of that over to our last sheet, second to last sheet. So let's do that real quick. So I'm going into prompt 3, and I'm going to do a new chat. I'm changing the job title, the type of work, and the industry list so it matches more of my experience, and this will get me something a little closer to what I can plop into my standard default resume. In this particular instance, the output has allowed me to keep everything within one particular row. I've decided to put it into a table, so I've added in a separate prompt that basically is like, great, put it into a table so I can copy it to a Google Sheet. You can always do that. You can always reformat. Everything is so much easier with these LLMs. Fantastic. Copy, and I'm putting this into the short skill table. Awesome. And the last section here, you'll copy and paste the prompt that will give you the soft skills as they relate to your specific field and industry. Fantastic. I'm going to take these. These are my soft skills. Great. Now I can always go back in and ask for 5 more, 10 more, whatever, but I'm really happy with what has been put in here. Let's quickly go over what we've done here and what is the remaining part to do left. So we have built out a very robust list of skill categories. These are the main themes of individual categories that we are required to do within previous jobs that we have experience doing. We have then broken down the individual categories by individual skills, and we should be elaborating and constantly adding things in, taking things out, but this gives us a very robust area to kind of play with. This will inevitably be what we build inside our skills section of our template. All the individual skills that we want to talk about that are related to the job. The good news is that we can use LLMs, ChatGPT, DeepSeek to basically pluck out the most relevant skills and the most relevant stuff that we have done in the past and pair it with the most recent job application that we're building. So we are building custom resumes based off the stuff that we have already done. So this is super valuable. What we've also done is allowed ourselves to build a more standardized template that we can use as kind of the first crack at sending these tailored resumes over, or a boilerplate template that is not tailored specific to the job. And I've also provided a more formatted version. Now, this more formatted version allows you to slip in close to 12, a total of 12 skills, but ultimately you're given a lot less characters to work with. This really depends on the nature of your job and also the nature of jobs that you're applying for, the industry that you're in. If you want to use this as your boilerplate versus the other one, either way, we're ending up in this general direction, but I wanted to allow people to kind of have both to bob and weave with. So that is where we are. I am not going to show you how to copy and paste out of this particular massive list of skills. It is up to you to decide which of these individual skills you want to pack into there so that you're giving yourself the best possible chance of building a core resume. I will eventually show you how to tailor the resume using the skills table. So that being said, we're going to move on to the next section. Thanks for sticking in with this one. Again, we are using this to train the LLM so we can tailor our future resumes based off of skills that we have from work that we've done. This has been a good one. I'm hoping that you're going to stick with me because there's a lot more stuff to come.